Welcome everyone to the second of the 4 series focusing on the education pillar of VT Seva, the school and colleges for the visually challenged, as well as the schools for the tribals. Firstly, we wish to thank you for your interest and for attending today. We wish again to convey a heartfelt thanks to the donors whose contributions have literally transformed the lives of these children and youth. Next slide, please. I am Aparna Tamarisa, and I will be one of your hosts this morning. I'm an internal medicine physician from Houston, Texas, where I was pretty much raised, and I am the VT Seva Houston branch director. From my perspective, I feel that there is nothing that makes the human spirit persevere like acts of kindness that uplift those around us. This is what inspired me to volunteer through my school, college, and medical school years, and as a VT Seva volunteer for the past 12 years. VT Seva has afforded myself and my family the ability to make a true difference by giving back to our community and to those in need. This is why I'm here today and why I have been supporting the cause that we will delve more into today. With that, I would like to introduce my co-host for today's meeting, Dr. Nishita Reddy.
Thank you, Aparna, and welcome everyone. Thanks for taking your time and joining us on this lovely Sunday morning for those of us who are in the south of United States. As you can see, I work at Vanderbilt at this time, and I have been involved with VT Seva since 2016. And the questions that have been specifically asked is why this organization, why VT Seva, and why the education pillar. So to channelize and to figure out these specific questions, the question about why education, in my opinion, education is the most powerful investment one can ever make. It is indeed the one that has the highest return on investment. And I consider, or would like to consider myself as a smart economist, and get involved in the education side of things. The other question is about organization, right? So when we think about organization, I would like to consider it as 3 different boxes. One is, the third box is those of the beneficiaries. And fortunately, most of us on this call do not belong to that factor. And I don't think we would want to be in that box. The second box, who make things happen, are the people. They are the volunteers. And I'm not talking about volunteers who spend about 4 to 6 hours on their weekend or so to trying to help an organization. But these are volunteers who actually do the groundwork from beginning towards the end, whose primary job is the service to the organization. And the first group is who most of us, again, on this call belong to, are you and I, where we can make an impact together. And finally, I would like to end by saying, before we go into the introduction part, is the fact as to why VT Seva. And it is the one organization that since I've been involved, I've been exposed to the fact that how is my money being utilized? And it is, for those of you who really know me, I'm a no-nonsense person and devoid of fluff. So this is one organization that really optimizes the best use of their resources. Hence, the VT Seva organization that I've been involved with. So with that background, we would like to start off today's session by presenting some really general high-level overview of things on schools and colleges that VT Seva supports, along with some notable achievements to date, and highlighting our own contributions and how we can indeed make a difference, and an important difference that we have made, and how our continuing support is really important that can help these colleges and schools and therefore continue to thrive and indeed give them the opportunity to reach new heights. Aparnaji?
Yes, so just a quick overview on the schools. So with your support, free education has been provided for over 10,000 children in tribal communities since 2004, and over 2,300 visually challenged children have been empowered with education and livelihood since 2001. Education, boarding facilities, study materials, including laptops, and healthcare are offered free of charge. These schools are nonprofit NGOs that do run on the donations of philanthropists and services of the volunteer. Admissions are open to all, irrespective of religion, caste, creed, or gender. For all Netra Vidyalaya schools, students must have 40% or more blindness to apply for admission. The Netra Vidyalaya school encompasses classes 1 through 10, and along with the standardized curriculum, students are instructed in Braille, visual efficiency skills, and soft skills to foster independence. The junior college provides the HEC and CEC curricula as per state board requirements. And the degree college has a BA program in history, economics, political science, as well as a BCom program in information technology. The colleges offer vocational training, soft skills training, and job-oriented courses to aid in career advancement. Extracurricular activities include sports, chess, cultural activities including music, and arts and handicrafts. Students are highly successful in competitions as well. The GR curriculum schools, which include the tribal schools and the school for the children of fishermen that belong to tsunami affected areas, provide education from kindergarten through 10th grade. In order to raise the standard of living in these remote forest areas, modern day facilities were gradually introduced, and these schools are now comprehensive and state of the art. The state syllabus is followed and taught by dedicated and competent faculty. And the curriculum includes language, social studies, math, and science. There has been a shift to English medium schooling in the past 6 years. In terms of extracurriculars, local culture and the arts are encouraged, as are sports and cultural activities. Children also participate in various competitions and do very well.
Next slide, please.
Thank you.
So if we thought our lives are really busy here in the United States or anywhere in the world, then I strongly encourage you to kind of take time and spend a day at one of these schools, because I've never been more tired than spending a few days here in these schools. The day starts at 4:30. You indeed rise and participate in yoga and do the morning prayers, and following a quick breakfast, you participate in assembly, classes begin, have a quick lunch break, and then afternoon session. The day really ends for academics around 4 o'clock, and then following that, there's some vocational training, and the day ends with the prayer again. And honestly, by 8 o'clock, 8:30, most of them are still doing their homework. And having spent several days at this place, I could say that I hit the floor, and would really mean by hitting the floor that it was a solid rock floor, and it really didn't matter where I was sleeping the end of the day. And we'd like to focus on the notable achievements that these schools have really gone above and beyond. And I could probably spend the rest hour and a half talking about the individual achievements, and one slide really is not going to do its justice for these children, the amount of effort that's put in. But Netra Vidyalaya is indeed the first English medium institution in the world that enables visually challenged children to take exams on their laptops. And 80% of these students move on to secure jobs and support their families. Academic achievements are anywhere between 93 to 100% pass rates. And one thing we'd like to highlight, and we'll touch base on later, is the National Parade for Republic Day that these Netra Vidyalaya students have participated in, and the challenges that they face to get to that. Like Aparna ji mentioned earlier, that the schools also focus on extracurricular activities, and so do these schools in chess, music, and yoga, and have achieved many important accolades. I think the one question we all have is what has happened during COVID-19? What really happened to these children? And like any other place in the world, the pandemic has affected even these schools. Schools were closed for a period of time, about 4 to 6 weeks. However, they have quickly made changes to promote remote education by way of online and recorded classes. They've also utilized their time to encourage some teacher professional training, and currently efforts are being made to bring the students back safely, and Netra Vidyalaya students are completing their examinations. Whereas in the GR Gurukulam, the tribal schools, the focus is basically a little bit on the higher class students, the 6th to 10th grade, to allow them to return to school and work is assigned for them with any specific course that is available. So with that, we would like to move on to introduce what we are trying to do is have this platform as a way to introduce our beneficiaries and also maybe have our donors all on the same page or here all on the same Zoom. Aparnaji?
Thank you, Nishita ji. With this, we're going to go ahead and get started with our students and administrators from the schools. So we're going to start with Surendra ji, who's a lecturer from the Netra Vidyalaya colleges. So I'm going to give him a brief introduction and then we'll get started with some questions. Surendra ji is the first teacher of Netra Vidyalaya. He started teaching in the primary school and was then promoted to college as a history lecturer, teaching now in both the junior and degree colleges. He has a master's in education with a focus on special education and a postgraduate degree in history. Surendra ji is also visually impaired and understands the challenges that are faced by the students. So with that, Surendra ji, I have a few questions for you.
Okay, madam.
What motivates you and the staff at Netra Vidyalaya?
To motivate, for getting motivation from Swamiji only, I used to listen Swamiji's speeches, which inspired a lot. And I came to contact with Swamiji in 1995. Then I became one of the disciples of Swamiji. Then with the help of Swamiji only, I got good education, higher education, in special education, special BEd and MET and history MA. And recently I also qualified NET, National Eligibility Test. Now I am eligible to assistant professor now. All these achieved by me, it's not me, my effort, I inspired by Swamiji to teach in Netra institutes. I am teaching for 20 years in these institutes. At first I worked as teacher in Netra school. Then I taught mathematics, history, science, and Telugu. And also I used to teach lokas also in school. Later I got promotion. Swamiji appointed me as a lecturer. Here I am teaching. I am dealing with the history in junior and degree college. My inspiration is already I studied in my curriculum about the great achievers who were visually impaired, like Homer. Homer is the ancient writer who wrote Iliad and Odyssey. And these both are great epics like in Mahabharata and Ramayana in Greek ancient mythology. And he was blind. That's why I got more inspired hearing about him. I got good inspiration. And also John Milton, who wrote two books, epics, Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. And also there are many blind achievers. That's why by hearing those history and biography, I also greatly impressed. And also I wanted to render great services in Netra institutes. And also I got employment opportunity by Swamiji. It is very proud. I'm proud to say I'm also visually impaired and without any difficulty I'm teaching here and also empowered my children. And this is my motivation. I got motivation like this.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can you give us a specific example of a challenge that you might have faced at the school and with the students and how you would have overcome it? With regards to the students that you teach.
Okay. When students come to school, that is very difficult to teach Braille and other subjects because we don't use any blackboard and we have to make special teaching aids to explain the students. In school level, I challenged a lot because to teach the braille, it is very difficult, and we make them understand all it will be based on memory. For example, all English words, all in codified language. That's why I made, however, I got good training in special B.Ed and M.Ed. That's why I discovered that I invented an easy method to teach that. For example, for teaching alphabets, 1A, 12B, 14C, 145D, 15E, 124F, 1245G, 125H, 245I, 245J. At first I teach up to this. Later I say them to add third dot. One means 1A, 13K, 12B, 123K, L, 14C, 134M. Like if you adding 3 dot up to T, we can teach easily to the students. Thus I found that easy methods also in Braille. When I was in B.Ed, I did my dissertation work, Braille reading and writing with effective teaching. That's why I acquired good knowledge, and also I could overcome this big problem, and I made them easy to teach the children. Within 10 minutes, I can teach all the alphabets to the students. Later, there will be shorthand in Braille also. For example, end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, off. Like this, more will be there. In this also, I discovered another easy method, and I teach them. I taught them. Now I'm teaching, and also in college level, I'm teaching history. I'm dealing with the history. I teach history in like a stories with useful information, and also I make them empowered to achieve in competitive exams. And also I proved this, if we give chance to children, they can get peaks of excellence. That I proved it. And also I also used many technology assisted me a lot to get empower myself. So Chinnajiyar Swamiji also provides teacher training camps in every year at Seva campus. Thus I empowered. Here we have a great opportunity in Netra Vidyalaya. Along with the children, teacher also can get empowerment, because along with the children, we also can get empowerment, because laptops were given to each teachers also to learn. And also we got net facility, and also Swamiji provided Braille printers. Out of it, we can, already I printed out many books. Thus, it is very easy to teaching learning material also. I prepared myself through browsing. Thus, I could overcome all my problems easily. I can teach like normal lecturer, and also my students, after hearing my voice, they also type and also got distinctive qualities in examination got through in with distinction in every exam. In my subject, they are getting 100% result every year. Thus, I could overcome my challenge. It's not a big challenge. My physical disability is not big challenge for me. It was overcome. I have overcome my difficulty with technology and cooperation and encouragement of Chinnajiyar Swamiji and VT Seva of America. Jai Sri Mangal.
Thank you very much, Surendraji. Those are very, very inspirational words. And it looks like with the resources that have been provided and the technology that has been, evolving, you have taken that, you have worked with it, and you have thought about how to make things easier for the kids and to help them retain the information that they are receiving. And so that's wonderful. Thank you so much for those inspiring words.
Indeed,
And
quite inspiring, and a lot of
inspiring.
Perseverance and hard work that goes behind
Absolutely.
it, which we really don't get to see all that. We just see the superficial achievement part, but really what goes on behind it is truly amazing. With that, I'd like to
yes, go ahead.
introduce on over to our next alumnus, Ms. Uma Bharti, who is an alumnus from one of our tribal schools and who has been attending GR curriculum, who had attended from kindergarten through 10th grade. After completing high school, she was only one of the 12 students from the Telangana state to get selected into the prestigious Institute of Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. And this is for an integrated Bachelor's of Science and Master's program in science, as mentioned. So Uma Bharti, I know we probably bring her on as she comes on as an extremely bright student, and it's very humbling to see that most of us here, or all of us maybe, have made a difference in her life. But I think the focus that I would like to ask Uma Bharti is, if there was no school at that place, how would the state of affairs of children in your community have been? Uma Bharti? Can you hear me?
Jai Shrimanarayana, ma'am.
Jai Shrimanarayana. So if there was no GR curriculum or the school there, how would your other friends or yourself, what would your state of affairs have been? What would you have been doing now?
Uma Bharti?
Ma'am,
Yeah, చెప్పమ్మా.
తెలుగులో చెప్పు.
Yes, please speak in Telugu.
ఒకవేళ ఇక్కడ ఆలంపల్లిలో జీర్గుకులం లేనట్టయితే గిన నేను చదువుకునే దాన్ని కాదు మేడం. అదే ఎందుకంటే మా అమ్మ నాన్న చేసే పని వ్యవసాయం. సో వాళ్ళు కూడా ఒకవేళ ఇక్కడ స్కూల్ పెట్టకపోతే నన్ను వ్యవసాయ పనులకు తీసుకెళ్లే వాళ్ళు. అదే విధంగా మళ్ళీ కొన్ని సంవత్సరాల తర్వాత బాల్య వివాహాలు చేసేవాళ్ళు మేడం. ఇక్కడ స్కూల్ పెట్టడం వల్ల నాకు ఎక్కువగా ఏం డిసిప్లిన్ అనేది ఎక్కువగా నేర్పించింది మేడం. అదే విధంగా నాలెడ్జ్ అనేది ఎక్కువగా గెయిన్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. టీచర్స్ కూడా చాలా ఎంకరేజ్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. నాతో పాటు ఇక్కడ చదువుకున్న పిల్లలు కూడా కొందరు వారి ఆర్థిక స్థోమతను బట్టి స్కూల్లో చదువుకుంటున్నారు, మరికొందరు ఇంట్లో పనులకే అర్థమైపోతున్నారు. ఇక్కడ స్కూల్ పెట్టడం వల్ల బయట సొసైటీ కూడా ఎలా ఉంటుంది అనేది కూడా తెలుసుకున్నాను మేడం.
Yeah, so go ahead. So let me take a moment and explain what Uma Bharti was trying to say. Basically, she comes from a farming background. Her parents are both farmers, and if the school wasn't available where she lived, then she probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to get any education, and she would have had to been succumbed to child marriage, and like her other colleagues or her other friends who wouldn't have had the financial ability to take them to schools or put them in schools, then the same thing would have happened as well. So indeed, she's trying to say that this has made a difference for her in her life. As mentioned,
he teaches. He's a blind, visually challenged, and he teaches.
Could you all mute yourself, please?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So with that, Uma Bharti, let me ask you another question. You seem to have a real interest in science, and you have proved that by being only one of the 12 students in the entire state to achieve what you've achieved. Could you help us understand how did the Gurukulam encourage you to pursue your interests?
Yes. ఎక్కువగా సైన్స్ అంటే ఎందుకు ఇష్టం అంటే స్కూల్లో సైన్స్ ఫేర్ లాంటి చిన్న చిన్న ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ పెట్టేవాళ్ళు మేడం. అందులో నేను పాల్గొనేదాన్ని. అదేవిధంగా మాకు ఇక్కడ అడవి ప్రాంతం కాబట్టి ఎక్కువగా ఆయుర్వేదిక్ లాంటివి అంటే చెట్ల మందులు లాంటివి చిన్న చిన్నవి దొరికేవి. సో బుక్స్ లో చదువుతున్నప్పుడు ఏదైనా కొత్తగా చేయాలన్నా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనిపించేది. ప్రతిదీ కొత్తగా అనిపించడంతో సైన్స్ మీద ఎక్కువగా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ వచ్చింది మేడం. సో నేను కూడా ఫ్యూచర్ సార్ వాళ్ళు చెప్తున్నప్పుడు ఇలా చదువుకొని ఇలా సైంటిస్ట్ అయ్యారు అని చిన్న చిన్న మోటివేషనల్ స్టోరీస్ చెప్తుండే వాళ్ళు. ఆ స్టోరీస్ విన్నప్పుడు నేను కూడా ఏదన్నా అవ్వాలన్న ఉద్దేశంతో సైన్స్ మీద ఎక్కువ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ వచ్చింది మేడం. సో 10th క్లాస్ తర్వాత సైన్స్ తీసుకొని అలా మంచి కాలేజీలో సీట్ వచ్చింది మేడం. చాలా కష్టపడి 3 months కోచింగ్ వెళ్ళి మంచి కాలేజీలో జాయిన్ అయ్యాను మేడం.
Thank you, Uma Bharti. What she just said was that in school she has had exposure to science fairs, and she had the opportunity to learn in those science fairs. It was indeed her own self-interest that she further investigated and looked into. During her schooling time, her teachers did expose her to some Ayurvedic medicine and talked about the various plants and the utilization of the various herbs and medicines that are available. And it was through her hard work that she achieved what she has. And as mentioned earlier, it is indeed very humbling to hear some of these stories that come up on and over again. So thank you, Uma Bharti, for that. I know I could probably spend another hour just talking to you, but let's move on to our next interviewee.
Sure. Next, I would like to bring on Rukmini Ji, who is the secretary of the VT Seva Bay Area branch here in the U.S. Along with the Bay Area branch director, Archana Ji, Rukmini Ji formed a team of 50 VT Seva youth to complete the creation of a STEM-based curriculum for the tribal schools for all 10 classes. In a short span of only 2 months, the team completed 200 lessons. This STEM-based curriculum was then reviewed and approved by a school principal from here in the United States. Welcome, Rukmini Ji. I would like to ask you a few questions. First of all, how did your team manage to accomplish this kind of a task in such a short time?
So this was only possible with the commitment of our youth volunteers and our adult volunteers. And I will say thanks to Kiranji and Srinivasji for working with us all through this effort. What actually helped us a lot was most of the students, it was the summertime, and most of the volunteers, youth volunteers, we had volunteers from 5th grade through 10th to 12th grades. And the biggest advantage that they had was they could bring their learnings and what they have gone through in their school life to these kids. But the challenge that they had to overcome was one is not knowing the rural India at all, because that was what we had to tell them, because they were coming up with all sorts of chemicals, all the different apparatus, and we said, no, go back to the basics of science. How do you do STEM? So if you look at the STEM lessons, that was the approach that the kids had taken, and we had our adult volunteers, each of them assigned to each group. We had 13 groups of 4 to 5 kids. So we mixed up a lot of kids. So it was not all high schoolers or middle schoolers. It was high schoolers working with middle schoolers, as some of them have never met because it was all virtually done. But they all willingly and participated in this and gave their time. So I will say it was definitely something that we would love to support continuing to do this. And the feedback I got from all of the students, starting with the parents, is it was very enjoyable. And it was a different way on how they looked at science.
Absolutely. It's just a testament to how the passion to truly help those in need takes you a very long way.
Yep.
And makes you do things that you could never imagine, actually, and just put these processes in place. So that's just truly amazing. And if you could just tell me a little bit more about the further steps from here with this curriculum.
So we have completed all of this curriculum, being in COVID situation and this pandemic. So we have worked with Kiranji, and I know all the lessons have been turned over, but we're going to train the teachers so they can actually understand how these lessons are taught. And to help the kids, students there, we took their current syllabus. So we didn't go off in a completely different tangent, but tried to make it a little bit more challenging so they're learning a little more than what they would have normally done. So the teachers would be trained so they can actually go back and teach the same to the students.
Wow.
And it is going to be included, I think, as part of their curriculum, so they get to learn all the four, science, technology, engineering, and math. All four will be included as part of their curriculum.
Thank you very much for that amazing support that you're all able to offer. And we are very excited to see how this moves forward. And I'm sure your team is as well, and are definitely going to be engaged moving forward. So just a wonderful job, Rukminiji, and to the youth in the Bay Area. Hope this inspires more of our youth to continue to do more. And they definitely are doing that and will hopefully progress. So thank you so much. The next person that we would like to invite is Sirisha Ji from the Netra Vidyalaya School. She started as a committee member for the Netra Vidyalaya School in 2013 and was then appointed secretary correspondent of Netra Vidyalaya in 2014. Sirisha Ji?
Yes. Good morning.
Are you able to hear me?
Morning.
How are you doing?
Yeah, fine.
Different time zones. Okay, so the first question that I would like to start off with you is what sort of professional training does your staff have?
Yeah. Actually, when we appoint the teachers, we try to take them, those who have completed B.Ed, special B.Ed. Means they do their specialization in visually challenged, how to teach visually challenged children. That's the criteria we take up. So we have most of the teachers we have are special B.Ed teachers. So they can work easily with children like this.
And, you know, in some of our conversations, you were referring to a type of material called a TLM. Can
Yes.
you describe that further for us and how you use that to help the students?
Yeah. As the children cannot see whatever it is written on the board or anything like that. So the only way to make them feel the subject is they prepare TLMs, means embossed things will be prepared. For example, if it is a structure of leaf, then they'll prepare a chart with a thread or sponge or something like that, which will be embossed, so that they will touch and feel that, and they'll know what the teacher is explaining. For every lesson, they take up one TLM and they'll explain.
It's called teaching learning material, correct?
Yeah, teaching learning materials. And first, when we got one or two TLMs from US, then our teachers got inspired and they started preparing TLMs here. And now we have 200 or 250 TLMs with us, which are very useful for us.
Wonderful. And I understand that even during your teacher training sessions that they do create TLMs there as well. Okay. And
we have special B.Ed teachers who come for training every year for 20 days to 1 month. Every year they come. When they come here, they prepare some TLMs also.
Can you just give me a few examples of what, like 2 or 3 objects that would qualify as a TLM? So, like
yeah. If they want a world map, they'll draw the map first, and after that they'll stick a thread to the borders outline, and the place which should be identified, they put some pins or something like that, so that they can touch and feel. In the same way in science and math also.
they can feel the shape out. And
triangle or cube or cuboid. Then also they will draw the picture and put some outline and they'll feel. In science, as I told, if it is parts of the body, they prepare it with some objects which are embossed, which they can feel.
It's truly, that's wonderful. So your team has basically taken the initiative to create this to be able to help the students learn probably more efficiently, more effectively. So that's wonderful. So with that, I know that your school has definitely demonstrated success. And I just wanted to ask, how does your organization, how does your school measure success? And in your opinion, are you achieving that success?
Yeah, we get 100% pass. We are getting 100% pass percentage since 2006 in 10th class exams. And sports, wherever they go, if they participate in sports or games or cultural activities or any other competition, whether it is a debate or essay writing or anything, they should bring first prize. That's their intention, and they always bring it. We are very proud to be part of such an institution.
So they're involved in sports. We had one student who went quite far in music as well. So you kind of encourage the students to come up and revisit their own talents and do well. So that's great.
2013, Parmesh got first place in Padata Theatre ATV program, which all of you have also seen it. And 2 years back, 3 of our students went to Paralympics national level, which was conducted in Gujarat, and they got 3 gold medals in running, shot put, and long jump.
Yeah. So when they strive to do something, they really go for it and put their 100% effort and energy into it and do well. That's very wonderful to hear. Thank you so much.
Participated in international level games also in Sri Lanka. In that also they have bagged maximum out of the prizes.
In Sri Lanka?
Yeah, in Sri Lanka.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. That's great to hear. Thank you so much for all that you do. And we'll talk to you a little bit later. Thanks, Shirishaji.
So that brings us into a segue about this is what happens in the school system. However, we do understand that not everybody joins the school system, and we'd like to bring another individual over on who's an alumnus is Ms. Lata Shri, who actually was devoid of all the education in the Netra Vidyalaya during her kindergarten through 10th grade, but joined Netra Vidyalaya through her junior college. So she was at an integrated school until her 10th grade, and she is currently working at a central bank as a telephone operator, and she manages, I believe, about 64 branches, and she carries a master's degree in English literature, and born with limited vision and with less than 20% of remaining vision, which continues to unfortunately deteriorate. She is indeed the sole breadwinner for her family. That includes her parents and her older brother, who is equally visually challenged. And we would like to hear from Lata Shri about her perspective on schooling. As mentioned, she was in an integrated school until 10th grade, and she received her higher education at Netra Vidyalaya, which is transiting to 11th and 12th grade at ND, and then following that, a bachelor's degree at Netra. So, Ms. Lata Shri, I hope you're on. All right. So we would like to hear from you. How was your transition from learning Braille in the integrated school, where you solely relied on scribes to give your exams, and moving on to a place where you had to learn English and utilize your laptops to learn and complete your examinations? Could you please explain to us?
Latashri, you're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have unmuted, madam. Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just a minute. And about myself, Telugu medium. I was from Telugu medium still 7th class. I had studied in the integrated high school, which is at Vijayawada. So one of teachers in the school, I came to know about the Beneficiaries College. I entered into that. It is totally English medium school college, and the two technical department. So I never knew about anything, even in English, and I never knew about any computers and a single word. But after getting into the college, I could able to learn a decent kind of spoken English and how to operate the system and all with the help of the faculty. It's a very nice journey. It's a golden memories in the Netra Vidyalaya during 5 years. I had joined in the Netra Vidyalaya college, junior college, intermediate. It's like a 11th and 12th class to degree also, graduation also from there itself. So as Surendra sir said about his history, he was only my history lecturer. So he used to teach me, teach my classmates very well. So I would like to thanks to him also and all the my lecturers, those they are not here also. But the Netra Vidyalaya College, like it's a family like atmosphere. They used to pay attention towards each and every individual. They had paid much attention towards us. So they had taken us very care of, very care of. Even I never remember. I never remember my family also like that. They had taken care of me.
That is indeed very, very nice to hear about that, that you felt like you were in your
family.
Vidyalaya. You are indeed a stoic example of perseverance, Lata Shri. You have challenged yourself to fight all odds and to achieve what you've achieved. I don't know if anybody here that I know of, in my own personal opinion and experience, has gone through what you have gone through. Anyways, that takes me a moment to recover. It's a little choking, but could you give us an example of an experience that you think that you had at the integrated school, and how Netra Vidyalaya was different in terms of your community that you were exposed to? What kind of differences that you felt in an integrated school, and how you felt more welcomed, if I may say? If I'm hopefully not leading you into the question, into the answer, but at Netra, how was it different?
Yeah, yeah. To explain, there is a lot of differences, madam, which I was spent in school and the college. In school, it was like a missionary school. Like I used to pray that, and when I entered into the college, I learned many moral things like Vishnu Sahasranamam and Pratasmaranam, etc. I learned many things. Now also I'm chanting, and also they made me learn on that exercise yoga also they had made me learn. And one more difference is like in school I was like a child, like playing eating and sleeping, that's it. Like study, even I had no concentration about this. I mean, I never used to concentrate that much of. But when I entered into the Netra Vidyalaya college, I should give my exam by my own on laptops only. So I can proudly say that. So now nobody can erase their hand, their finger on me that I had passed with the help of scribe. And one more difference is, madam, that I used to participate in cultural activities in my school, but I had participated in the college. I had participated in Bhagavad Gita state level Bhagavad Gita competition, and I could secure the first place with the help of Swamiji's blessings. But I felt very happy more than I achieved in the school level. It's a memorable moment for me. That by Swamiji's hand I could I had taken prize from the Swamiji's hands. It's very precious moment for me.
That's indeed very inspiring and so good to hear from you. So what I hear is that it really helped to boost your confidence, be it in extracurricular activities or even in your academics. That's wonderful. Aparnaji?
Yeah, they say it takes a village, and she truly felt that, felt that comfort of community when going to these schools. And I think that really propels not only her, but many of the other students to do so exceedingly well. So that's wonderful. Well, with that, we move from a Netra Vidyalaya college graduate to now a college administrator. This is Krishna Kumari ji. She became the joint secretary vice principal of the Netra Vidyalaya school actually in 2001. And then after that, she has varied experience. So then she went on to work with some of our tribal families as part of an outreach project in 2013. Ultimately, she was working as an education officer in the central government and ultimately took voluntary retirement in 2015. And so now she is overseeing the Netra Vidyalaya junior and degree college operations. So wonderful to have you here. You have a wealth of experience that you bring. So I'm going to ask you, I'm sure there's a lot that you could easily cover. I'm going to ask you a few questions. One is, how is your curriculum standardized? What is the curriculum standard?
We are following the curriculum of state intermediate board, but we are having some challenging tasks because many students are coming from rural areas and Telugu medium. Here when they join, the main challenging task is we have to teach the students basics in English and usage of a computer and typing also. Then only we can concentrate regarding their respective subjects, regular subjects. Apart from that, we have to give values of the life because moral values are more important. Today, the entire world is following the moral values of Indian moral values. So we have to teach the moral values at the same time. And not only that, these children have to learn how to type and the use of, because they have to accustomed to use the screen, which is based on JAWS software. They have to write their exams on laptops only. So these are the challenges, and we have to follow the curriculum of state board, and at the same time.
No, like what's actually for lunch.
I apologize. If you could please put yourself on mute.
Skin.
One moment, Krishna Kumari, I apologize for that. Would again request everyone to keep themselves on mute so that we may hear the speakers. Thank you. Thank you very much. Krishna Kumari, are you unmuted? Go ahead and try to.
Krishna Kumari garu, can you unmute yourself? Unmute yourself. You're on mute, Krishna Kumari garu.
Unmute.
Okay, you're good.
Good. There, I can hear you. Sorry, you were saying.
Okay. Okay, continue.
Yes. Can I continue?
You may continue.
Yeah. What I said, we are following the curriculum of state government, but at the same time we have to face the challenges teaching basics in English because many children are from rural background and Telugu medium. And not only that, here so many co-curricular activities we are introducing, sports, NCC, and because children are taking part in national and international level competitions also. So we have to teach English, and then because they have to write their exams on laptops. So a usage of computers and then typing is a great challenge for us because just they doesn't know anything about laptop or typing of computers. They come from Telugu medium, and then here they have to learn English and typing on laptops. And then at the same time, we are asking them to take part in so many other activities also. So,
and they're doing so exceedingly well. They're doing very well.
Yeah, they are getting good marks only, 100% results we are getting. But first 3 months, it is a challenge for us. First year, when they come from 10th class to intermediate first year, it is a really great challenge for us. But as our Surinder said, we are overcoming it. And then not only that, we are teaching them Braille also. Braille language, we are not making them to forget about it. and they have to learn so many things, but at the same time they are overcoming with the help of our staff.
Absolutely. I'm going to give a little bit of history here, but I want to speak to you about another challenge that you overcame. You took up a challenge, and just the students did a wonderful job. So in 2018, the Netra Vidyalaya junior and degree colleges, with the hard work of course, the college administrators like yourself, were able to take part in the 70th National Cadet Corps Day Parade. It definitely is a particularly challenging experience because it involves coordination and marching with a synchronized routine. And I see that, and I hear that this was a resounding success. And then the students were then invited to participate in the 70th Republic Day Parade for Telangana in 2019.
Yes.
And this was a first, I understand, for visually impaired students, first time doing this. So I would like you to go ahead and just, if you can say a few words about your experience in as far as a challenge and how you were able to produce this amazing result.
Really, this is a challenge only because visually impaired students or anybody never participated in NCC parade, or they never participated, means Army never allowed them to take part in such events. But what happened, I don't know. But in our Jiva premises on 15th August, we had a NCC parade. Everybody appreciated. Then I just sent these CDs to government of Telangana, government of Andhra Pradesh, and then to Delhi also. I requested that to give a chance at least on NCC Day. Every year here in India on 25th November, NCC Day they celebrate. I requested them to at least give a chance to these children to take part in NCC parade. They agreed, and that day really I don't know how our children did. Everybody appreciated, and me and one of our NCC master used to hold their legs, hands and all to teach how to take the leg, front leg, left and right, move to front and back. And really, if I remember the day, how we hold their legs and hands to teach the parade, really wonderful. And then we have shown those CDs and all to Telangana government. They said only government schools students can take part, that too visually challenged children never. But daily I used to go, I used to request them. At the end, NCC Day Parade, we got permission, and seeing those CDs, they allowed, the governor allowed us to take part in Republic Day Parade, and we really, it is a wonderful thing. We got a trophy also, our children. And then the girl commandant used to give such a tremendous voice. Her voice is...
Yes, I've heard that actually, yes.
Yeah, Anjama, her name. She is now degree second year. This year she passed her first year. And so seeing all these things, they had given a chance us to take part in a national level these also. But because of COVID and all, it is, we didn't go to Delhi, but still we got the permission.
So that was for 26 January 2020, correct?
26 January 2019, here at state level, our
Correct.
children participated and given salute to Governor Narsimanji and got a trophy. And Chief Minister Chandrasekhar Rao, Governor Narsimanji, and Chief Secretary Shailendra Singh Joshi, everybody appreciated like anything. And when they passed through the guard, this thing, and then everybody appreciated them. And the commandant, she got a first prize, and then total for the total team, they had given a trophy also. And they got
amazing.
selection.
And not only that, selected to the national level Republic Day Parade. That's
but because of COVID this year, we did.
Truly, truly hats off to you and all of your efforts. It's just so clear that there's such a supportive environment, and you're encouraging these students to just do amazing, unthinkable things. So thank you so much. Thank you very much, Krishna Kumarji.
Indeed, very
We'll
unprecedented.
move.
This is really beyond imagination, to think beyond the box and get these students to where they need to be to actually identify who they are, and encouraging that is truly amazing. Hats off to you, as mentioned. Finally, we would like to call on Gangadhar, or introduce Gangadhar, who is from one of the tribal schools. And he attended GR Gurukulam as well since kindergarten through 10th grade, who is currently obtaining a degree in leather technology. He is definitely a man of few words. And those people with few words, in my imagination, have a lot to express in terms of their art. And he's a natural artist. And to him, it doesn't really need any kind of encouragement. He just gets it. He enjoys drawing anything, and here's a piece of his artwork that we would like to showcase, and anybody who sees this is just really in awe, and this is, again, very humbling to see that.
He's only 16 years old, I understand, Nishita.
That's right, yeah, very young.
This is just superb.
I don't know if there's any way we can, encourage this talent and move on further, but clearly, maybe if he was another place or something or somewhere else, he probably would have had a lot more encouragement and to pursue his career through that. With that, I'd like to move on to to get our donors into place and why they do what they do. So circling back to what I said earlier, the 3 boxes of, here we have the beneficiaries. We took a look at our beneficiaries, and then the amazing support staff who actually make things happen, who have the ability to think out of the box and get it out of these students, make things happen at the ground level. And then the people who actually make it happen are these donors. With that, I'd like to introduce one of our great donors here in Nashville. Dr. Pankaj Srivastav and his wife are both physicians who provide their service to the rural community. And they are a very admirable couple who are very much philanthropists, both in terms of their money and their time. There's never a dull moment with them. And I would like to ask Dr. Shrev, Dr. Pankaj, sir, how do you and your spouse make your philanthropic donations?
Thank you, Nishita. Anjali's on her way, but I'll go ahead and start because I know we have a limited time. Real quick, I know we do make decisions over a period of time, but one thing that we always have done is whatever we do, we put a certain amount of it aside every year, because opportunities to give come in, are not always the same at all times, and the needs may not be the same all the time. So we have, several years ago, we established a charitable trust and under the management of one of the companies, and we put a certain amount into it every year. But that also gives us the flexibility of differing demands from different organizations that we want to support. So that's kind of helped us in terms of years where we think we have a surplus or we don't have a surplus, because we can still continue to give our obligations. I don't know if that helps, but in terms of deciding who we give to, I think the 2 things that we have always kind of worked on is, giving is the easiest part, but we look at sustainability of the organization as to how, who the field workers are and who could potentially be sustaining the vision of the organization further. So that really is a big part for us. And what we look at is organizations that are engaged in the act of empowering whom they help instead of just enabling. So it's obviously easy to give out X number of rupees or dollars a month to help somebody, but if the process helps us to empower someone to be able to move off on their own, that makes a big difference. So I think those are the couple of things that at least we do, use in our decision making, if that helps.
Yeah, thank you, Pankaj. Again, the audience, this couple has huge, have made huge donations to Seva previously. How do you teach your children about philanthropy? I know they follow your footsteps in a lot of ways, but is that something that you teach your kids, or what do you do?
Well, obviously, it's a part of giving back, and I think they do understand that is we sit in very fortunate shoes, and that is something that we are very aware of on a daily basis. They know that they are in a privileged situation, so giving them the other side, making them I guess know what else exists outside the four boundaries of our home is, I think, a big thing that we do. It's a part of our faith that giving comes before taking, and we hope that they're learning from the firsthand experience that they're seeing in the house. But we do ask them to be very conscious, because we're not spending our inheritance from our parents, so we ask them to be very critical in their decision-making process. And vet an organization or a purpose and make sure that fulfills what we're trying to deliver.
Yes, indeed. None of us are giving our inheritance away, so that's a good point made.
Yeah.
What's up until now? I know you've donated to many other organizations as well, but what has been your best giving experience so far, if I may ask?
So I have a great answer for it, which we haven't gotten there yet. So I think it's a process, and I hope that it never happens, because we don't want to have the best experience and then stop, because we want to be constantly be looking for the best experience, and we're still searching for it. So that keeps us doing it.
We like that answer. Thank
Yeah.
you. Aparnaji, do you have any questions for the donor?
No, I just very much appreciate his answers, and I think he has an excellent perspective. And I think the fact that he's been able to share this with everyone here today really does put things in perspective for all of us. So thank you very, very much, Pankajji.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to call upon another donor here from within Nashville, is Dr. Arundhati Ramesh. Dr. Ramesh has, I don't know, if I had to look up the term grit or audacious, probably I will see Arundhati as another synonym with that, because she's a true example of grit and perseverance. She's just not a philanthropist by nature. Her level of involvement with the community, with her patients, and of note, she's a triathlete, and stands to represent I must say, the Indian woman of Nashville. And thank you, Arundhati, for taking the time to join us today. Arundhati, I know you do support other schools and do a lot yourself as well, and you've been a huge donor to VT Seva. May I ask, what are your two philanthropic interests in the broad sense, and why? Unmute yourself, please.
Thank you for that great introduction. I do not know whether I deserve all what you said, but I look at you as one of my examples and my role models, actually, in terms of philanthropy and volunteering. You've done great service to the temple and the community. So coming to the question, what type of organizations that I am interested in, health related, and so I think both of them are equally important, health as well as education. So without education is our way to access good health care in a lot of places. Without having the basic education, people are not going to get health care. And I'm thoroughly impressed with the VT Seva. I got introduced to VT Seva by you and Sarita. And today I'm so impressed by watching the videos and watching the talks that are going on today. I'm thoroughly impressed. I really think that you guys are doing a great job, and the teachers there on site, and Surenderji and Krishna Kumariji and the students who spoke up. I think Lalita, and I can't remember. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up with the other name. They're so impressive. They touched my heart. And yeah, we have been donating to another organization in Bangalore that's run by my family, my aunt and my uncle. It's for the underprivileged children, and and this is the other organization that I'm interested in through you and Sarita. And of course, health related, we are all contributing to our hospital, and then also giving my work like volunteering and serving on the community activities and stuff, things like that. So,
Education and health are your two important
yeah.
priorities. Do you stick to an organization, or do you just keep rotating through who you donate to? And what in fact makes you stick to an organization if you do?
Like when I decide about a particular organization, I see how the funds that are donated are being used. Is it going through a lot of layers of chain, media kind of, I mean, like multiple people involved, or is it going through a big chain? Like, for example, when we donate $1, how much is actually being used for the service to the needy versus how much is lost in the process of being delivered? That's what I look at. And I think, I mean, that's one of the things that we look at. And I do like to stick with the which are dear to my heart, the causes that are very important to me, such as the education of girls, education of the underprivileged and the visually or, I mean, handicapped or I mean, I shouldn't say handicap, that's not a good word to use. Visually challenged is what I would say. So, yeah, I think it's important because growing up in India, I've witnessed all the, I mean, the poorer classes of the society who have trouble equalizing with the rest of the people who are more privileged. So I think as human beings, we can do at least my uncle always tells me that even if you build up one child or you help one child to succeed, that's an achievement. That's something you can do in your life. So that's my philosophy.
Yes, we completely agree. Even one child, getting them out of the street and getting them educated to stand on their feet, to help their own family and the future generations. Interesting. Very, very good point that you bring up. Do you, so I hear that you give to very many organizations and, or several organizations at a time, and, or do you give more to one organization and one, or you kind of distribute yourself? I mean, that's probably a weird question to ask, but.
I think I mean, I wouldn't, like right now we are still like we are just doing yearly contributions right now. The temple is another organization that we are, I mean, involved with, which is the community related activity. Then otherwise is yours. And I also donate to the St. Jude Children's organization. I feel like they're helping the children with cancer, and then they're helping their families and giving them free access to care and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I can say for sure that this is one organization, the VT Seva, where the funds are really, really focused on channeled in to go directly to the student for sure.
Yeah, the causes that they support, absolutely.
For your time.
Thank you. Thanks for involving me, Nishita.
Thank you, Arundhati. The next donor that I would like to introduce is Mr. Supal Vora. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Pahel Vora and Associates, which is a wealth advisory practice. I have to say that once in a while you come across people who reinstill that belief in humanity. And Supal and his family are absolutely one such example. I really thank you for being here today, and I just have a couple of questions for you, Supal.
Thank you, Aparna.
The first question I have for you is, what in particular motivated you to donate towards the schools for the tribals?
Well, you know, Aparna ji, I was introduced to VT Seva from you. And the way that I learned about it was attending one of the annual gala events a few years ago. And during that event, you know, I learned about what the organization does, and it really inspired me. And so, you know, the fact that the VT Seva helps people that wouldn't be able to get access to help normally. it was a primary motivator, you know, visually impaired and tribal kids. And I know that there are kids that are outside of the system, and that's what it motivated me. And then the second thing was that it just seemed so easy, you know, $1 a day provides the education needs for a year, for a whole day, you know. And so I just thought if I could sponsor one kid a month, then, you know, I could sponsor 12 kids a year, and it just seemed too easy. So, you know, I'm doing the easy part of this. You know, it's so amazing and it's so inspiring to see the students, and then see the teachers who are helping. They're doing the you know, lion's share of the work, and I thank you all for that.
Thank you, Sipul. So I think you kind of partially answered my second question, which is why did you choose to become a recurring donor?
Yeah, it's because of you. You know, I decided to become a recurring donor because you made me aware of the organization, and the work is recurring work, so it needs recurring donations. It's not a one and done job. So that's why, you know, I want to be part of it on an ongoing basis.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. You know, $1 a day goes a long way, as they say. So I thank you for taking the time to be with us today, for just who you are, and for understanding that we are here to be able to help those in need, and for really becoming a recurring donor. Really sincerely do appreciate that. Thank you, Sipul. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sipulji. I think we have some time for questions, but before that, maybe have one of our other students. I didn't give a chance for one of our students, Gangadhar, to speak about his artwork. Maybe would give him a couple of minutes to talk about it. In fact, how, or even if he did receive any kind of encouragement from his school, or how did his teachers really get involved with his artwork, or if they have even. Gangadhar, are you on? And could you please unmute yourself, please? Hi, Gangadhar.
Hi, ma'am.
Okay. Early on, we saw your artwork on one of the slides. And could you please tell us, how did your teachers encourage you in what you do? And you feel free to speak in Telugu. I'm happy to translate for you.
చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి ఆర్ట్ విషయంలో నాకు తెలియకుండానే ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనేది పెరుగుతూ వచ్చింది. నేను ఏ ఆర్ట్ వేసినా కూడా బాగా రాకపోయినప్పటికీ నా యొక్క ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనేది అసలు తగ్గకపోయేదన్నమాట. కాలక్షేపం కోసం ఎక్కువగా ఆర్ట్ని వేస్తూ ఉండేవాడిని. ఎప్పుడు డ్రాయింగ్ ఆలోచన వస్తే అప్పుడు ఎక్కువగా డ్రాయింగ్ వేస్తూ ఉండేవాడిని. ఒక ఆర్టిస్ట్ కావాలి, అందరి దృష్టిలో ఎంకరేజ్మెంట్ పొందాలి అన్న ఆలోచన నాలో ఎక్కువగా ఉండకపోయేది. డ్రా చేయడం ఒక టాలెంట్ అని నాకు అప్పుడు తెలియదు. ఇలా గీయాలి అని చెప్పే వాళ్ళు కూడా అప్పుడు డ్రాయింగ్ గురించి చెప్పేవాళ్ళు ఇక్కడ ఉండకపోయేవారు. నేను ఎక్కువ ప్రయత్నం చేస్తూ ఉండేవాడిని. నా ప్రయత్నమే నాకు ఒక చిన్న ఫలితాన్ని ఇచ్చింది అన్నమాట. నేను సిక్స్త్ క్లాస్కి వెళ్ళే వరకు నేను ఇలా డ్రాయింగ్ వేస్తాను అని ఎవరికి కూడా తెలియకపోయేదన్నమాట. నేను ప్రైమరీ వరకు డ్రాయింగ్ విషయంలో ఏ ఆలోచన చేయకపోయేవాడిని. సిక్స్త్ క్లాస్లో నేను ఒక నోట్స్లో కొన్ని డ్రాయింగ్స్ వేసి నా దగ్గర ఉంచుకున్నాను. ఆ నోట్స్ ఒక టాలెంట్ నిరూపిస్తుందని అప్పుడు నాకు తెలీదు. ఎప్పుడైతే ఆ డ్రాయింగ్ నోట్స్ని టీచర్స్ చూసారో అప్పటి నుంచి అందరూ చాలా ఎంకరేజ్మెంట్ చేశారన్నమాట. టీచర్స్ ఎంకరేజ్మెంట్ చేసిన ప్రతి క్షణం నాలో ఆర్ట్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చేసుకోవాలనేది ఎక్కువగా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పెరిగిపోయేది. ఒకవైపు చదువు, మరోవైపు ఆర్ట్ అన్న విషయం నాలో ఎక్కువగా భయాన్ని సృష్టించేదన్నమాట. స్టడీ విషయంలో ఎక్కువ భయపడేవాడిని, కానీ ఆర్ట్ విషయంలో మాత్రం చాలా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పెట్టేవాడిని.
Yeah. Thank you, Gangadhar. That is truly great. So just to translate what Gangadhar had really said was that he didn't realize that it was indeed his probably his passion, but he describes it more of an obsession to draw everything what he sees, and that's his way of communication, I would assume. It started off as a pastime, and whatever thoughts he had, he would put it on paper, and he had a collection of all this artwork put very well together. He had a tough time studying as such, meaning he would always be scared about learning or going through classes, but for him, art came very naturally. It was not until he received his encouragement from his teachers that he decided to really promote his artwork. And the way it's promoted is trying to show it to various other individuals before he would keep it really to himself and not be open about it. But his teachers really have asked him to come out with it. And hopefully he will be something wonderful in the future. And we are so fortunate to have known you, Gangadhar. Thank you so much for your time. With that, we are happy to take some questions. We have the last 10 minutes. So if anybody has any burning questions, please put them in the chat box. We will try to go through these. I think somebody had about how is indeed the JAWS session, how does that help, and how does it translate from Braille over to having it in JAWS? So they are indeed two separate things. The JAWS is basically used to translate what we individuals do and learn, the English alphabets and the numbers. Braille, of course, is a completely different situation. So I don't think they actually want to speak together. So there are two separate.
This is Madhvi. So can we ask one of the, maybe Shankar, who is also there today with us. He's one of the Netra Vidyalaya college students. Krishna Kumari Garu, can you please introduce Shankar and if he can help us how he learns in Braille, not Braille, sorry, the JAWS, how he does it in JAWS?
He is Mr. Shankar. He studied at Vijayanagaram, his schooling from 1st to 10th class, joined junior and degree college here. Now he is writing his final year exams. He's a great musician. He played tabla very nicely. He learned it, and we wish him to continue it. Now he will explain how he is writing. In Telugu he will explain because they are writing their exams on laptops in English only. And they will put earphones, and the questions, JAWS will read the questions and they will type the answers. So he will explain you. Shankar, how you are writing your exams on laptops?
జై శ్రీమన్నారాయణ. సో నేను ఎగ్జామ్స్ అనేవి ల్యాప్టాప్లో రాయడం జరుగుతుంది. సో మనకి ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ జాస్ అనే సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఉంటుంది. సో జాస్ అనే సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ మనకి ఏం చేస్తారంటే మనకి క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ అనేది అప్లోడ్ చేస్తారు సిస్టంలో. సో క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ అప్లోడ్ చేసిన తర్వాత అది మనకి క్వశ్చన్ టు క్వశ్చన్ చదువుతుంది అనమాట. ఇయర్ ఫోన్స్ పెట్టుకుంటాం మేము. క్వశ్చన్ టు క్వశ్చన్ చదివిన తర్వాత మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే మనం ఆన్సర్ రాయాలంటే దానికి వేరే డాక్యుమెంట్ ఓపెన్ చేసి సో ఆ క్వశ్చన్ విని మళ్ళీ నెక్స్ట్ డాక్యుమెంట్లో దాని యొక్క ఆన్సర్ రాస్తామన్నమాట. సో దాని ద్వారా తర్వాత ఏం చేస్తారంటే క్వశ్చన్స్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత సో ఆన్సర్స్ అన్నీ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ల్యాప్టాప్లో మన పేపర్స్ ప్రింట్అవుట్ తీసి యూనివర్సిటీస్, డిగ్రీ అయితే యూనివర్సిటీస్కి, అలాగే ఇంటర్మీడియట్ అయితే బోర్డ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్కి పంపిస్తారనమాట. దాని ద్వారా మన పేపర్స్ అనేవి వాల్యుయేషన్ జరుగుతుంది. సో అంటే జాస్ ఎట్లా వినిపిస్తుంది అంటే మనం సపోజ్ ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ జేఎస్ డిఎఫ్ ఉన్నాయి కదా సిస్టంలో. ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ జే అని ప్రెస్ చేసాం అనుకోండి, అది ఏ అని చదువుతుంది అనమాట. సో ఒక్కొక్క అక్షరాన్ని మనకి చదివి వినిపిస్తుంది జాస్ టైప్ చేస్తే. సో ఆ విధంగా మేము ఎగ్జామ్స్ అనేవి ల్యాప్టాప్లో అప్లై చేస్తాం. మనకి జాస్తో పాటు ఎన్విడిఏ అనే సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఉంటుంది. సో ఎన్విడిఏ ఆల్సో యాజ్ లైక్ ఏ జాస్. సో మనం జాస్ ఎట్లయితే వర్క్ చేస్తుందో ఎన్విడిఏ కూడా అదే విధంగా మనకు వర్క్ చేస్తుంది.
So basically what Shankar is saying is it's a screen reader software that they are using to, so they basically listen to anything that they type. It reads out to them if they're writing it correctly or not, and it also reads the paper to them, so then they can answer, they can put the answer right into the computer.
Type the answers.
And they can type the answer. So I think Latashri alluded to it earlier, saying that even a sighted user cannot proudly say that they have taken exams on their laptops. They have to write on a paper or something. Although these days, a lot of them are taking exams on computers as multi-choice or objective questions. But as you understand, India, our questions are not always multiple choice. They are pretty much, you have to answer a big long answer. So these students are very good with ensuring that the JAWS and typing skills as well.
Ma'am, I want to say one thing.
Yes.
So, memo this is the one of the college. It is the only college to India to write on laptops exams on laptop. So I'm very proudly say నేను కూడా ఒక నేత్రాలో ఒక స్టూడెంట్ అయినందుకు నాకు చాలా గర్వంగా ఉంది మేడం. I'm also very proud to be a student of Netra Vidyalaya.
Very, very well said. Thank you, Shankarji, for all your hard work. It is very nice to hear that what you all are doing, extreme amount of talent out there. I think we can spend very many sessions just talking about your talent. So the question I had, I mean, I think I don't see any major questions back in our chat room.
Correct. Yeah, correct, Nishitaji.
Yeah. So with that, I think we can call it a day. It's almost noon time here in Nashville, and probably close to lunchtime as well. So we'll call it a day, but I would like to wrap it up by just leaving one thought for you all. And I would like to describe about the other nothing effect, meaning that you will get to keep your money, but we want to remind you that by keeping your money, the other person has not received or has received nothing. So either you can help by donating to this cause and really helping the other individuals. You've seen their talent. There's a lot more talent out there. We would love to have very many individuals join the schools and to utilize these resources. And take a moment and visit our website. And if you do have the time, even take the time and to look more into this onto at the website and consider donating. It is indeed a matter of a total of $750 per child to help with their education and their facilities for 1 year support. So thank you all.
I wanted to, I don't know if you can hear me, I apologize. I just wanted to say one last thing, and I think Nishitaji, you would agree that as physicians, we literally within a few minutes have to find where the need is in our patients and take care of it almost immediately and address it as quickly as possible. And I really truly feel that this is what VT Seva is doing today, whether it be in supporting the Netra Vidyalaya schools and the visually challenged students, or it be the tribal schools that are truly in very remote areas with no schooling around. I think that this organization finds the need and addresses it in such a beautiful way. And I'm very proud to have been part of this since its inception here in the US in 2008. So I feel very privileged to be a part of this group and to have had the time to speak with these students and administrators from these schools who are just super motivating and super inspiring. So thank you all very much from the bottom of our hearts for what you do.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for your time again. Have a good day.
Thank you.
excuse me, madam.
Thank you, Lata Shri. I think
Yeah.
the session is done. Thank you very much for joining
Thank
us
you all.
today.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah, madam, can I say, I would like to talk 1 minute.
Yes, go ahead if you want to talk.
Yeah, thank you, madam. That first, thank you, VT Seva, Nishita ma'am, and Aparna ma'am, and one more, madam. Thank you for giving this great opportunity. And Nishita
Should
madam.
we leave now? Should we leave now?
Yeah, you can leave.
Please mind
Yeah.
muting or okay.
Yeah, Madhavi madam, thank you so much, and all the donors that who are those who are donating us to educate and wealth and everything, directly and indirectly those who are donating us, thank you so much, and thanks for that. I'm very thankful to everybody, and also I'm very grateful to the Swami. Thank you so much, madam.
What a wonderful summary statement. Thank you so much, Lata Shri. Wonderful.
Thank you.
We are honored to be able to work with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Have a wonderful day, night. I know we have multiple time zones here, so wishing you all the very best. Stay safe. Stay safe, and God bless.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very grateful to VT Seva, backbone of the institutions.
Thank you, Surender sir, Shankar, Krishna Kumari garu, andaru. Thank you, Andy.